Hey guys, so today I am going to be making Andrea's coconut pie. The reason we're calling it that is because I like to demo stuff that my hostesses like, right? And she really likes coconut pie. Good news, I have never done this before, so we're gonna learn how to make coconut pie together. And from what I've been reading, it's pretty easy. You don't need a whole lot of ingredients. I've got a cup of sugar. We're gonna do 3 tablespoons of flour, a cup and a quarter of whole milk, 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of butter. I don't remember how much vanilla, but honestly, just some vanilla. It's gonna make it better. It makes everything better. 2 cups shredded coconut. You can go whole ham and get a coconut and crack it open and shave it yourself. You can. You totally can. You can also make your own pie crust. I didn't do any of those things. The reason I didn't do those things is because it's a lot of work, and you can make people pretty darn happy with stuff that's already done. So that's what I'm doing today. So as far as equipment goes, you do not need a lot. I have got a pie plate. It does not matter if you're using one of the throwaway pie plates. You got your heirloom pie plate, you know, whatever. Just get a pie plate. I'm using a Wanderlier bowl, because I need a bowl, and Tupperware makes great bowls and I love them. And spatula. You don't have to have a spatula. You can totally use a spoon or whatever you want. It doesn't matter, but you will find out that a silicone utensil won't be as much of a pain in the rear end while you're mixing up this really gooey, sweet awesomeness. So pro tip, silicone. Let's learn. Okay, I think we're ready. Don't judge me, I'm still reading on this because I don't want to mess it up. You will find that baking is way more science and way less soul, right? Cooking, that's all about soul. When you're cooking, you're putting in there what feels right, what you love. You like this flavor, you put some more. Baking, no. So I need to make sure that my ingredients are the right amount of ingredients, or we're gonna get a weird pie. So I think we're ready. We've got cup and a quarter of whole milk. This milk has been sitting out for a little while along with my butter. I want all of my ingredients to kind of be relatively the same temperature, right? You don't want to be adding cold milk to warm eggs to, you know, it just gets, the chemical reactions are not cool. You want to be able to control that. So you want to keep everything the same temp. You don't want to be putting hots with colds. Same for preheating the oven. I've already turned on my oven and it's preheating to 350. You want that fully at 350 before you're going to put your pie in. Otherwise, it's not going to cook evenly. Okay, so here we go. We're putting our milk in the bowl. Easy enough? Cool. Now we're going to add our coconut. This is 2 cups. 2 cups of coconut in the bowl. I love this recipe so far. 2 eggs. So I went ahead and cracked the eggs, but I didn't mix them up at all because it calls for lightly beaten. So that just means put a fork in there and stir it up a tiny bit, right? You really always want to crack your eggs in a different bowl in case you get shells in there. Yes, you can fish them out, but if it gets out of hand, you're digging around in your own batter. You don't want that, right? So put them in a separate bowl. It's easier. 2 eggs, lightly beaten. Okay, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So, when it calls for flour, remember I said it's science, right? It's not soul so much, so you want an exact amount. It wants 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna take my tablespoon, I'm gonna put it in here, right? It's gonna come out all rounded. I'm gonna take my knife, anything really that's flat, but a butter knife is perfect. I'm gonna tap it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna just knock off the top. Okay, that's how I know I'm getting the right amount. So 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of melted butter. I have melted my butter in the microwave. I'm a bad girl, but I've let it sit out for a little bit. I know I gave you guys the speech about how you should totally use the pre-made pie crust and the already shaved coconut. That's not true for butter. Please don't use margarine. It's gonna come out weird. Butter is always better, the real stuff. I always use unsalted. I like to control my salt because it's science and you don't wanna be guessing about how much salt is in your salted butter, right? If you have an option, unsalted. So there's our 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'll use my little silicone here to get it all out, right? Okay. Let's see. Vanilla flavoring. Let's see, what did it want? It wants a ½ teaspoon. Vanilla is not as weird. You can almost have some soul with vanilla, but we're gonna follow instructions like good children, because until you get used to what rules you can break in baking, you should really just follow them, okay? Until you're used to it, and then do what you want. Who cares? It's food. All right, I think that's it. So we're gonna mix until fully combined. Fun times. So we've just got this giant mixture of stuff, right? Notice I didn't put any sweetened condensed anything in there. And I'm just gonna stir it up until it looks like it's stirred up. After that, I'm gonna put my pie crust in my pie pan, and then I'm gonna pour this in and it's gonna be done. So I'll show you that next. Yay, I love easy recipes. Go, you guys. I forgot the sugar. Good news, since it all goes in the same bowl and then you just mix it up. Fixed it. Haha, don't forget the cup of sugar. Don't be like me. All right, so now we've made our inside pie. Let's put the rest of the pie together. So this is a pre-made, you guys, and I've got it sitting on one of our silicone baking mats. They're silicone. Remember how I said nothing really sticks to it and they're kind of cool? So is this. I really mostly just use it for cookies. I put it on a baking sheet and then nothing sticks and I don't have to use parchment paper. But when it comes to pie crust, especially the pre-made, you have to roll it out, right? And you don't really want it sticking to your counter because then it will tear and then you have to fix the tear. And I may do that today anyway because I tend to tear my pie crusts, I don't know. But the silicone helps me because it doesn't stick, right? And now it's all flat and I can put it in my pie pan. So I'm just gonna move it over and just let it very gently drop in, right? We don't wanna tear it. If you do tear it, just dip your fingers in some water and moisten the edges and then pinch it together. That's how you fix that little whoopsie. Because I'm nothing if not full of little whoopsies. So I'm just pressing to the sides so that I can make sure it's gonna have the right shape. And once I've done that, I'll just kind of mold that over a bit just so I can show you pie crust. See how much easier that is than homemade? I'm just saying. Now, I've got my coconut mixture with the sugar this time. We're gonna pour it in. You'll find if you're using the silicone spatula that you can scrape all of that down off the bowl and not waste any, which is pretty cool. Now what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna put it in my oven for 50 to 60 minutes is what the recipe says. I will more than likely end up around 60. When you're baking in the oven, just keep an eye on it. Try not to open the door, use the little light so you can kind of see in there. What you don't want to do is mess with the temperature while it's trying to cook. Things don't rise properly, things don't cook evenly when you mess with the temperature. So the hardest thing to do for me with baking is not opening the oven door, but that's what I'm about to do for the next 50 minutes. So I'll see you in 50 minutes and we'll see if I made a pie. I really hope so. That was fun. I'm making this again. Okay, guys, so this pie is beautiful. I ended up baking it for actually 70 minutes. You just kind of keep an eye on that thing. You can kind of eyeball it. It's done when you put a toothpick or a sharp knife in the middle and it comes out clean. That's how you know. You see all this tin foil. I want to keep my crust from burning, right? So I did 70 minutes and then I actually did another probably 2 minutes on broil so we could get this beautiful hue in the middle. Let's see if I can show it to you. Isn't this so pretty? I can't wait to try it. This looks awesome. So this is Andrea's coconut pie, and it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I love it. Go, Andrea. Good choice.